gonna make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by. It's alright, cause I'm safe out the fail. If the teacher pops a test, I know I'm in a mess, and my dog ate all my homework last night.
What's up, YouTubers? So we're here, we're going to go over some of the study guide. So right now, I'm going to go over part of the study guide, and then the other two math teachers are going to go over the last two sections of the study guide. So, convert each decimal into a fraction. So what we're going to do for this one is it's repeating. So we need to know that if it's repeating, we have a 99. Since it's two digits here, we're going to put 99 on the bottom. On the top, we put 21. Now, you should realize that this can be reduced, and so the number 3 can go into the top and in the bottom. So if the number 3 can go into both of these, that will make it 7 over 33, and that will be your final fraction there. So we'll move on to the next one. So you need to know your place values. So if this is the tens, the 100s, and then the thousands, you're going to put this over 1,000. And you're going to put 619. And so 619, that's going to be your final answer here. So we're just going to leave it like that. Okay. And then all you're doing is working backwards. So when you convert each fraction into a decimal, you're just working backwards. So if we did this up here, where you had 99, and we knew it was repeating, down here we have 99, so I know that 71 is going to be repeating. So I put 0.71 repeating. And that's the answer for that. Now this one, convert each fraction into a decimal. What I like to do is you could either say 1 point, and then you turn 3/4 into a decimal. You can put this in your calculator by saying 3 divided by 4, or you should know that 3/4, it's one of the fractions that we kind of memorize, is 75. It's 75% of 100, so 3.75 is what we do. Or in your calculator, you can put 3 divided by 4, and it'll come out to be 0.75. So you can just leave it as 1.75. And then the next one, find square root. So this one, I really just wanted you to understand how to put this in the calculator, because we understand as a class that it's two numbers multiplied together that are the same number that gives you this number under the bracket, the radical. So if that's the case, what two numbers multiplied together to give you 361 that are the same? This would be 19. But how do I put that in the calculator? You need to hit the second, and then you're going to hit the x squared key. And what'll happen on your calculator is it'll pop up your radical, and then you can type in the number. So that will benefit for the test situation that you're going to have on Friday for us, the stallions. So find the cube root. The last thing, this one was square root, so it's two numbers. This is what number can be multiplied to itself 3 times. So what times what times what? That has to be the same number. Would give me 8. We would figure this out as 2, because 2 times 2 is 4, and then times another 2 is 8. But how do I plug this in the calculator? You hit the math key, and then you'll hit the 4 key, and it will give you that symbol. So that's the first part of the worksheet, and now you know more.
And today we're going to talk about how to estimate square roots. So what we want to look at here, we have the square root of 55. Now you could do what Mr. Gossam told you to do, put it in your calculator and it'll give you an exact number. But if you do not have a calculator, we can take a pretty good guess of what this number is if we know what our square roots are. So the square root of 55 is in between the two perfect squares, 49 and 64. And of course, the square root of 49 is 7, and the square root of 64 is 8. So I might not be able to tell you exactly what this is without a calculator, but I can tell you that it's 7 point something. Same thing with the square root of 91. The square root of 91 is going to be in between the square root of 81 and the square root of 100. The square root of 81 is 9, and the square root of 100 is 10. Again, I don't know exactly what it is, but because the square root of 91 falls in between these two perfect squares, I know that your answer has to be 9 point something. And this one would probably be around 9.5 because it's close to the middle. And same thing with up here. We're going to be close to the middle somewhere. Not exactly, but close. And then same thing with 130. I know that 121 is a perfect square and 144 is a perfect square. So my number has to be in between 11 and 12. So again, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's got to be 11 point something. So if I can get that close without a calculator, we're good. And now you know.
It's Miss Garner. Finishing up this review worksheet, at the very end we have plot each square root on the number line. A very similar problem would be ordering the square roots from least to greatest. So we're trying to compare A through F, which is greatest, which is least, where do they line up here. So for these problems, I'm just going to plug these into my calculator and get a decimal approximation for each one. So for the square root of 40, if we press the second key and then x squared, it'll have our square root sign. Type in 40 and press enter. Our calculator says that is about 6.3. And I'm going to go ahead and do that for all of my square roots before I put them on the number line. So second x squared 20, enter, is about 4.47. I'm going to write that as 4.5. That 7's going to round it up. Second x squared 8, enter, that's about 2.8. I'm just going to continue doing this for all of my letters. So second x squared 30, the square root of 30 is about 5.5. The square root of 15 is about 3.9. And the square root of 29 is about 5.4. So once again, I'm just taking the square root in my calculator and getting their decimal approximations for each letter. Now that I have my decimals, I can place these on the number line. So 6.3, I know this is going to be between 6 and 7, closer to 6. So I'm going to go about a third of the way between 6 and 7 and put letter A. 4.5 is between 4 and 5, it's directly in the middle. So I'll put B. 2.8 has to be between 2 and 3, but it's going to be closer to 3. So I'm going to put point C about right there. 5.5 is directly between 5 and 6.
Library. The backpack committee is now meeting in the library. Thank you.
There. 3.9 is almost 4, it's just 0.1 away, so I'm going to put it close to 4, but on the 3 side of it, so that's E. And my last one, 5.4, that's going to be just below, this is D, just below point D, so D was 5.5, 5.4 is going to be just below it, so that's my point F. And now you know more.
Some say by the bed.